Ladies, let me tell you something real, ladies. A man, when he's just out here playing, when he's not really into you, when he's just killing time, he asks surface questions. What's your favorite color? What type of music you like? That kind of stuff. That's light work. That's not serious man territory. That's just social talk. When a man is truly serious about you, his actions shift. But even more than that, his words shift. You've got to learn to listen, not just to what he says, but why he's saying it. A man who's just passing time with you is going to keep things light. He's going to talk about your favorite music, what kind of movies you like, where you like to hang out. That's easy. That's small talk. That's something a man can do with any woman. And honestly, it doesn't require much thought. He's just there for the moment, not the mission. But when a man starts asking you the kind of questions that stop you in your tracks, that make you think before you answer, that's when you know something deeper is going on. Because when a man is serious about you, when he's looking at you as more than just someone to spend time with, but someone to build something with, his whole approach changes. His questions get intentional. He starts asking things like, what are you looking for in life? Or do you believe in marriage? Now, that ain't just conversation. That's him trying to figure out if you fit into his future. You see, men aren't always the best at expressing emotion. We're not wired to be openly vulnerable. But when we find someone who makes us feel safe, someone we can see a future with, we start trying to connect on a deeper level. We may not say, I love you right away, but the questions we ask are the giveaway. What are your dreams? How do you see your future? Do you want kids? Those aren't random. That's a man laying down blueprints. He's trying to see if your vision lines up with his. He's not just talking to pass the time. He's trying to build with you. When he asks how your day went and listens, really listens, that's not just politeness. That's care. That's investment. A man who's serious wants to know your routines, your stressors, your habits, your patterns. He's collecting information not to control, but to understand you. He wants to know how to be part of your world. He wants to learn your language. He starts asking about your past, not to judge, but to know where you've been, what shaped you, what's hurt you, and what helps you heal. When a man asks how he can support you better or what makes you feel loved, that's huge. Because men, we don't always get taught how to love properly. We often love through what we do, not what we say. So when a man is serious, he'll ask those questions because he wants to get it right. He wants to love you in a way that makes you feel it. He's not trying to give generic affection. He's trying to personalize his love so that it lands where it matters. Now watch out for the questions that come from a place of planning. When he starts asking, would you ever move for love? Or how do you feel about merging finances? Or what kind of parent do you think you'd be? Those are not casual questions. That's not small talk. That's vision. That's him building something in his mind and placing you in it. That's him not just dating you, he's designing a future and seeing if you're the right fit for it. Sometimes it shows up in subtle ways. He'll ask about your family, about your values, about how you handle conflict. That's a man doing emotional homework. He's learning the terrain because he's thinking about walking it with you. He's not just worried about how you look in heels or what you post on social media. He's concerned with your character. He's asking what you believe in, how you think, how you process life. And don't underestimate the power of consistent curiosity. If he keeps asking how you feel, how your dreams are coming along, if there's anything you need, that's his way of staying involved. That's his version of nurturing. A man who's not serious won't ask those questions. He'll just ride the wave, take what he can get, and exit when it gets too real. But the one who's serious, he's constantly engaging you with depth. He wants to learn you. He wants to know your love languages. He wants to understand what triggers you, what excites you, what scares you, what drives you. A serious man will also start asking accountability questions. Are we okay? Is there something I did that hurt you? That shows maturity. That shows he doesn't want to risk losing you over miscommunication or misunderstanding. He's not just trying to win the argument, he's trying to win your heart every day. And when a man starts talking about time in a different way, like where do you see us in a year, or do you think we're moving in the right direction? He's measuring progress because he's planning a future. He's not just in it for now, he's invested in forever. He's not afraid of the hard questions anymore because he knows your value and he knows you're worth the work. The questions he asks become more about we and less about me. That's when you know he's not just talking about love, he's living it. Now, the truth is, we men don't always come right out and say what we feel. But when we're serious, it shows up in our curiosity. We ask because we care. We ask because we want to know. We ask because we see something in you that makes us want to go deeper. We don't ask just anybody these things. We ask you because we're hoping you're the one we've been praying for, the one we've been trying to find in the noise of this world. And so when he starts asking those real soul-searching questions, know that's not just him being nosy. That's him opening his heart. That's him trying to make sure he's got more than just a partner. He's got his person. When a man is serious about a woman, his whole energy changes. He stops operating from a place of convenience and starts moving with intention. A lot of women ask, how do I know if he's really into me or if he's just playing around? You've got to pay close attention to the kinds of questions he's asking. Men may not always express their emotions openly, but we reveal our intentions through our curiosity. We don't ask deep questions for no reason. We ask them because we're starting to feel something real, and we're trying to make sure you're not just somebody we like, but someone we can build a life with. See, when a man is only halfway interested, his questions stay on the surface. He'll ask you what kind of music you like, what shows you watch, maybe even your favorite food. That's easy. That's casual. He can ask that to 5 different women and not feel any kind of attachment. But when he starts getting serious, his focus shifts. He wants to know how you think, what you believe, how you handle struggle, how you define love. He starts asking questions that require vulnerability because he's preparing to be vulnerable himself. For a man, letting a woman into his emotional world takes effort. We don't just hand that out. So when we start asking things like, what does a healthy relationship look like to you? Or have you ever been in love? Or what do you need from a partner to feel secure? That means we're considering more than just dating. We're starting to wonder what life with you might feel like. We're trying to make sure we're aligned, that we share values, that we want the same things. A man who's thinking long-term doesn't want to waste time. He's asking with purpose. He's trying to see if you're the woman who fits into his vision. It's also in the way he asks about your past. Not to hold it against you, but to understand what shaped you. He might ask, what's something you learned from your last relationship, or what made you walk away? That's not about being nosy. That's about knowing what you've been through so he knows how to treat you better. He's learning where you've been so he doesn't make the same mistakes someone else. That shows maturity. That shows care. Then come the future-based questions. When a man starts asking you, do you see yourself getting married someday? Or how many kids do you want? Or even, would you want to live in the city or the suburbs? That's him planning. That's him building something in his mind with you in it. And you better believe that kind of thinking doesn't happen unless the feelings are deepening. Men don't imagine futures with women they're unsure about. We only do that when we're seriously considering commitment. That's why those questions matter. Sometimes the questions are more about the daily things, but they still come from the same place. Did you eat today? How's your mental health lately? Is there anything you need from me? These sound simple, but they come from a man who's paying attention. He's tuned in. He's thinking about your well-being. That's love showing up through concern. That's protection in the form of attentiveness. That's not the kind of effort you get from someone who's just playing games. That's a man who's stepping into the role of a partner, not just a boyfriend. He might even ask about your goals, your dreams, your ambitions. He wants to know, where do you see yourself in 5 years, or what would make you feel fulfilled in life? That's because he wants to support your growth. He's not just looking at what you bring to the table now. He's interested in the woman you're becoming. And if he sees himself as part of that journey, that's love. That's seriousness. He's not intimidated by your drive. He's inspired by it. And then there's the accountability questions. A serious man will ask, are we good, or did I hurt you when I said that? He wants to check in, not because he's insecure, but because he values the connection. He doesn't want to risk letting tension build up. He doesn't want to lose your trust over something small. He wants peace with you, not distance. So he'll ask questions to understand, to improve, to love you better. That's a man who's all in. You'll also notice how his language changes. He starts using we more than I. He asks, where should we go? Or what should we do this weekend? That's a shift in mindset. He's not thinking as a single man anymore. He's thinking like a unit. He includes you in his plans because he sees you as part of his life now. That's not something we do with every woman. That's reserved for the one who makes us feel safe, inspired, and seen. And here's one more thing. A serious man will ask you how you feel about him. He'll ask, do you feel like this is going somewhere, or how do you feel when we're together? That's vulnerability. That's courage. Because men fear rejection too. But when the feelings are real, we take that risk. We ask because we want to know that we're not alone in how we feel. We're hoping you're on the same page. That's how deep connection starts, through honest, intentional questions. So when a man starts asking the kind of questions that make you pause, that touch your heart, that make you think about your own future, don't dismiss them. Those questions are the signs. That's how a man who's serious about you starts to open his heart. That's how he invites you into his world, not just temporarily, but for good. When a man begins to care deeply for a woman, the way he interacts with her transforms. You don't have to guess too much. He shows it, not just in actions, but in the questions he asks. Men may not be as naturally expressive with emotions as women are, but when we're serious, it shows. You just have to listen closely, because when a man is playing, his words stay shallow. When he's real about you, the depth of his questions changes everything. He begins to explore who you are beneath the surface. That's how you know he's not just interested in you as a partner, he's invested in you as a person. In the beginning, any man can ask about your favorite color, your go-to coffee order, or the last movie you watched. That kind of talk is basic. It requires no commitment, no vulnerability, no vision. But a man who wants more with you isn't just passing time. He wants to understand what makes you tick. He wants to know your values, your thoughts about life, your fears, your expectations. That's when he starts asking the serious questions. And those questions are never random. A man who's looking to build something real starts off by checking if you align on the important stuff. He might ask, what does a successful relationship look like to you? Or have you healed from your past relationships? He's not just asking to fill silence. He's asking because your answers help him understand if he can show up for you in the ways that matter. That's a man thinking beyond today. That's a man with vision. When he begins to ask questions about your future, where you want to live, whether you want to get married, how many children you want, what your dream career looks like. He's not asking those things because he's bored. He's starting to see you as part of his own future. He's building in his mind and placing you into the framework. A man who's serious sees beyond your present. He wants to know what kind of woman you're becoming and whether he can be a part of your evolution. A man who cares doesn't only focus on where you're going, he cares about where you've been. He'll ask about your childhood, your family, the good and the painful. He'll ask about your past relationships, not to judge you, but to understand you. When a man is serious, he knows your history affects how you love, how you trust, and how you open up. So he asks to learn, not to dig up dirt, but to protect the connection and avoid past mistakes others may have made. He also becomes attentive to your emotional world. He'll ask, what makes you feel loved, or how can I support you better? That's a man learning how to love you specifically, because love isn't one size fits all. A man who wants to be your forever won't try to love you in his own language. He'll learn yours. That means he's asking how to care for you, how to protect your peace, how to show up in a way that brings you comfort and confidence. That kind of effort doesn't come from a casual place. It comes from deep care and emotional maturity. Then there are those questions that check the temperature of your connection. He'll ask, are we doing okay, or is there something I could be doing differently? That shows he's not just present, he's committed. He's not running from accountability. He's inviting it. He wants to know if there's a crack in the foundation before it turns into a break. That's not pride. That's priority. When a man is serious about you, he won't let silence grow into distance. He'll ask to repair before things get too far. You might notice his questions start to shift from you to we. He'll say, where should we go on vacation? Or what should we do this weekend? Or how do we handle finances in a relationship? That shift in language reveals a shift in mindset. He's no longer thinking solo, he's thinking partnership. And that's how real commitment sounds: intentional, inclusive, future-focused. Sometimes his questions come from a place of protection. Did you get home safe? Did you eat today? Is anyone stressing you out? These questions aren't about control, they're about concern. A man who's serious becomes protective of your energy, your safety, your heart. He's thinking about your well-being because your pain is his concern. And that kind of care only comes when a man has truly let you into his heart. A man who's serious may even ask, what do you see in me? That question might catch you off guard, but it's an honest one. Even strong men want to feel chosen. We want to know you value us. When he asks that, it's not out of ego. It's out of hope. He wants to feel secure in the fact that you're as invested in him as he is in you. So if a man is asking you questions that require thought, vulnerability, and honesty, don't take it lightly. He's not just talking to pass time. He's trying to connect. He's trying to build. He's trying to understand if the love he's feeling is safe to grow. When a man starts to ask certain questions, it's often a sign that he's thinking deeper about the relationship. It's not always easy to read men, especially the ones who don't speak a lot about emotions. But if you pay attention to the things they ask, you'll get a glimpse into their mindset. When a man is serious, his curiosity becomes focused. He doesn't just want to know your favorite song or what you like to eat. He wants to know how your mind works, what your soul carries, and where your heart wants to go. These aren't just questions. They're signs he's imagining something long-term. Most men don't speak in poetry or long romantic monologues. Instead, seriousness comes through in the way they try to understand you. It shows up when he asks, what kind of life do you see for yourself? Or what's something you've never told anyone else? That's not light conversation. That's a man trying to see the whole of you. He's not just looking for someone to pass time with. He's looking for someone to build something with. His questions start to reflect a vision, a desire for connection, and a search for compatibility. You might notice him ask about your past, not just what happened, but how it shaped you. He might say, what did that experience teach you, or what hurt you the most? Those are questions that require vulnerability. A man who's just dating for fun doesn't go there. That kind of depth only comes when a man feels something real and wants to be part of your healing, your growth, and your peace. He's not asking to be nosy. He's asking because he wants to hold space for your truth. He'll also begin to